Hello, I'm Dr. Paul, and this is my beautiful wife, Lynn. And today's video is about questions, answers, and more.
Okay, well, we had a couple of testimonials I wanted to share with you today. And our first one was from the woman who sent us the ingredients for Lyme Relief. And she had treated the Lyme Relief about a year ago with a lot of different holistic things and asked us if we could put something together, which we did. And here's what she has to say after a summer season. This is on September 23rd, 2019 that she's writing to me. I should tell you that I got bitten 6 times in June. I used the Lyme Plasma Relief as it was indicated, and it is now the 23rd of September, and I show 0 symptoms. Usually, the symptoms will start after 6 weeks. I took no other medication. This is amazing. Too bad. It's almost too simple and cheap to believe. Well, it sure works for me. All the best to you, forever gratefully yours. I thought that was really neat.
Yes, that's a very good testimonial.
And now here's something for someone, and they're out of the country, so they receive the pads. I received the pads for the energy station and put them on a 5-gallon container and left them for a day. Then I took water off and put it in a couple of sprayers. I bought one that I had bought. I sprayed the interior of the first floor of my house, and then with the second, I had some water left, and I sprayed some of the plants in my garden. My garlic was already poking up through the snow, which melted today. By the way, this was last spring. So I decided to spray half with the energy center water and leave the other half. Problem is, now I'm thinking maybe the fields travel, so I don't know how the experiment will work without somewhat of a distance between them. And he is right about that, because we've tested, and others that have tested have said it's anywhere from 33 to 36 feet out. So I was outside in the garage and remembered your video of dowsing the fields. I took some number 10 copper I had just stripped for hangers in the GANS bins I was building and cut a couple of pieces of an old garden hose and went dowsing. Wow, I'm here on 19 acres with a lot of space, and this is just the beginning of a long journey, but these rods were pointing unerringly toward the water charged by the pads that you sent. I was amazed. I thought I should do that experiment before I started spraying everything, which I planned to do. Those dowsing rods were definitely showing where the liquid plasma was, and yep, you are right about the 30 feet away part too. Confirmed. I was watching closely as I walked slowly toward the house and then briefly went toward the spray bottle that I had left in the garage. And boom, right there, right toward the house and the energy center. I was a bit skeptical about getting pads instead of vials, but now I'm quite convinced they are working just fine. And thank you for that, because some people always think it's going to be different. And honestly, we could cut up pieces of this tablecloth and put plasma energy on it, and it would work just fine.
That's right.
So that was really nice. And then I also want to mention, Paul gave some instructions for the garden where you fill 4 plastic jars of with energy station water. And this will be good information for those of you that live in a climate that maybe have a fall planting season. I guess that would be way down south, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And say also down in Australia, New Zealand. So what you're going to do is jars 2, 3, and 4 are buried up to 1/2 to 3/4 of the height of the jar, placed in an equilateral triangle in your garden. And those jars are completely filled with energy station water.
Right.
Okay? And then you're going to use a 5-foot to a 7-foot vertical pole and place a jar on top of that pole. You probably want to put a plastic jar in case...
Well, what you can do is make a tripod so it's stable, and then just hang the jar from the top of the tripod. But make sure that it's tall enough so that it's 5 to 7 feet high. Just something like this that you see in the background here, and hang your jar up on, from the top. You can use a pyramid like we have here, or you can just use a tripod to hold the jar up.
Okay, but the advantage of using the pyramid, where you have the shungite cap on top, and then you also have shungite rocks below, this is a Russian pyramid.
Right.
And you can tell who shows how to make it.
Oh,
Charlie.
Charlie Zeiss, he has a website called onlypvcpyramids.com, and he gives you the dimensions on how to make these pyramids. He sells them, and you can order them from him, or you can make it yourself with his instructions.
Okay, and the whole point of this is this was developed by the Russians, and they use one that's very tall, like maybe 70 feet.
Yeah, it's 70 feet tall, and it enhances the torsion fields or plasmatic fields, and develops a plasmatic field within itself that enhances whatever is inside of that pyramid.
And they will do that for their seeds before the planting.
Right, and they put them in there, put their seeds in there before they plant, and also some people put these pyramids in their gardens and claim that it gives them a better yield on their produce.
Okay. And then one thing I want to mention, because once in a while somebody decides they want to add some type of water to the plasma energy station water, and the first couple times that happened, they'd say, well, I have some green algae growing in the bottom of my energy station. Now, Paul and I have 4 energy stations. One of them is the very first one he made. It's been in use for 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
And it's never had anything in the bottom of it. All we do is add water and take water out and use it.
It's never been washed out. We've
Yeah.
never emptied it and cleaned it.
Well, there's no point, because this is energy.
There's no point, right. And there is no algae, there's no foreign anything in there. It's pure, clean water.
And then we, like I said, we have 3 others that came along later. One of them was done a couple years ago, and then I set up a really large container. My first container was about 1.5 gallons, and that wasn't quite large enough with a spigot on it. So and then I have another one that's larger than that, because we do use a lot of the water. So please don't use anything other than filtered or distilled water, or a good quality spring water, good quality well water. If you're using well water and you start getting weird odors or particulates, then you've got an issue with the well water, because it should not be there.
Right.
Okay.
And you should not ever see any algae buildup in there. If you do, it's coming from the water that you're putting in there.
Okay, so that covers that part. And just to remind you, this is September 2019. We are the Plasma Energy Station. This is all packed and ready to ship warm door to warm door with the 16 vials. The price is going to increase in October. And so I'm just reminding you that there is a special with this and a free vial of our thyroid, our healthy thyroid. If you're from outside the country, you are going to receive a pair of pads like this. It has the very same energy as this has in it. No problem with size or anything else, right,
Right.
Paul? Okay. Once we get to the cold weather, you're not going to be seeing us shipping these small glass vials because they will freeze and break when it gets below freezing. What we do send are larger plastic vials where we combine vials 1 through 4 into one vial, vials 5 through 8 into the second, and so forth, so that you get 4 vials. And this is BPA-free plastic. What's more important, when it freezes, it does not break. And we tested something else. We thought, well, plastic test tubes look kind of nice. Maybe we should try those. Well, guess what? We put it in the freezer. I got it out the other day, and it was cracked and broken. So we're just not going to go for looks, you guys. We're going for utility. Now, there's one more thing we want to announce. Paul has just completed 3 nanocoating videos on how to do it. They're very short, and they're called Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. They're on YouTube. But we just did another one, and you can explain what that one is about.
Well, it's going through the first 3 videos and just explaining step by step in detail what exactly we're doing and the theory behind it and why we do it the way we do it.
Okay, now that video is only available if you send me an email, lynn@plasmaenergysolution.com. If you want the private link to that video, you'll have to send me an email, lynn@plasmaenergysolution.com. Now we're doing this on September 23rd, 2019. In a few days, we will have a link below the Step 1, 2, and 3 videos that will guide you to sending an email, and then the video and a report would be available.
Right, that'll be on an autoresponder thing.
Right. So we want to thank you for watching today. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Again, plasmaenergysolution.com. And be sure and watch all our videos. We've got a couple of different YouTube channels. Most of them are on Plasma Energy Solutions, that's plural. And as we're getting these done, they are going up on our website. If you go to the home page and select Shop, and below that select Products, then as you scroll through the products, you'll see that there are the links to many of the videos, and we're starting to do transcripts, but it's taking us a bit of time.
Right.
Yeah, so the transcripts will show up as they show up. If you see a video and you're looking for the transcript and it's not there, well, guess what? We haven't done it yet. So, okay, anything else, Paul?
No. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you feel like you've gotten any value from it, give us a big thumbs up and share it with your friends and your relatives. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.